Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. AOC might be getting arrested if Tom Homan has anything to say about it. Wouldn't that be just the craziest picture to see? Apparently, and we're going to get into that clip near the end of the video, I want to give you guys some backstory on all this so you understand what's going on here. But Tom Homan and his ICE are being attacked from all sides in regards to people trying to impede what they're doing. AOC is one of those people, and Tom Homan actually wants to see if there's anything legally he can do about that. So that should be developing in the next few days, but I just want to show you where it's all been happening. So this has to do with a raid that was happening in Aurora, and somehow these Tren de la Agua guys, they were tipped off, and this is what happened here. So we got people tipping off these gang members. They have suspected who the actual leak is, who will surprise you. It's just, you know, they're trying everything they can to stop the the voters, the potential voters, from being deported. Here, watch this clip.
That led to a handful of arrests, but no TDA gang members. A stop at another apartment complex netted no arrests.
It seems like they were tipped off. They knew this was coming.
So yeah, I do get the impression that there were some intel leaks here, and I think that probably they did know we were coming, but we're still coming. And just because something leaks now and then it's not going to stop us.
This is the police. You have a warrant. Come out with your hands up.
Also on their radar, this previously deported Honduran illegal alien with pending local charges for strangulation, kidnapping, and possession of fentanyl.
Get the out of my neighborhood! Get out!
While activists yelled outside, agents recovered this stolen rifle from inside the man's home.
And guys, officials told us they were planning to net triple-digit arrests as a result of this operation, possibly upwards of 200 people. ICE officials told me at the end of the day yesterday, they only had 30 arrests, only one of which was a confirmed Tren de Aragua gang member. It certainly felt like everybody knew this was coming, including the targets and the local media. We'll send it back to you.
And did the local media, did they get ahead of the operation?
They were everywhere we were, sometimes ahead of us, it felt like, along with some of the local activists. This raid was initially supposed to happen last week, guys, but two media outlets wrote articles announcing it. It got leaked to them. They wrote articles announcing that ICE was coming to the Aurora area to conduct a huge operation. ICE canceled that raid, moved it to this week, and everywhere we went, the local media was there, followed quickly by those anti-ICE activists. It definitely felt like people knew it was coming, and ICE officials told us the same.
All right.
So that is what happened there. Very interesting stuff. The fact that the local media and the activists, because I put those quotes because who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? These are not activists. These people look like they're standing in front of a corner store. So it's interesting that they're ahead of ICE. These people are ahead of ICE. Local media is ahead of ICE. Obviously, this is a leak. There's no other way to explain it. Who would want to do that? I'm not really sure. And it's funny that they're saying stay out of my neighborhood, as if this guy who they're currently rounding up and planning on deporting is some kind of farmer, and then all of a sudden in his house he has a gun that is the size of a 10-year-old. This gun is gigantic. It goes from here all the way down to there. What was he doing with that gun? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but it's crazy, you know? It just goes along with AOC being like, you know, people only raid places because they need bread. Now, one person is willing to say where these leaks are coming from, and that was Kristi Noem. She made sure to voice her opinion on Twitter. She said, the FBI is so corrupt, We will work with any and every agency to stop the leaks and prosecute these crooked deep state agents to the fullest extent of the law. She just came right out and said this. It's not like this has anything to do with the retweet, right? It's just, they're just talking about the leaks. She's going right into who she thinks it is. She could very possibly be right. The reason I say that is because, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, as soon as Tom Homan and his team started working with the FBI, their numbers started trending down. I don't know if you know, but when Tom first started, they were at about 1,400 to 2,000 arrests a day. And then all of a sudden, the FBI got involved, and that went down from maybe 1,000 to 500. And then the last few days, it was in the 300s. So obviously there's some kind of correlation there. No one brings that up throughout all these clips that I'm showing you, but just through my research from video to video, I noticed that. So let's get into the next clip.
Indications are this is coming from our own FBI. How certain are you of that?
Information leading to that. Again, I'll let the Department of Justice do their own investigation, but again, I talked to the Deputy Attorney General this week, and they've opened up a criminal investigation. He thinks the information is coming from there also, so we'll let that investigation play out. But some of the leads point that way.
Wow, that's really scary. Indications are.
Just makes sense. I mean, there's a big correlation with the numbers. Here's another clip.
Where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified.
Slow it down. For some reason, my computer is just not responding to me clicking things. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here, let's go. And now it's not playing. And now it's
inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person. Under investigation right now.
Where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person. Under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation, and they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got the DHS IG investigating the first one. Have a pretty good idea what happened. Can't share a lot because it's under investigation, but the IG's opened up a criminal investigation on the second one. We're sending a strong message. It's just not, giving the bad guys a heads up so they can escape apprehension. Right? We're arresting, giving the Venezuela gang a heads up so we can't arrest them. You're putting officers' lives at risk. It's only a matter of time if we walk into a place where there's going to be a bad guy doesn't care. He's going to be sitting and wait for the officers to show up and ambush him. This is not a game. So DHS and DOJ are connected at hip to hold these people responsible in a criminal fashion.
Very interesting. And this is exactly why he wants to make sure, or is hoping, that he can get some kind of prosecution going, maybe even criminal, towards AOC, because apparently she's helping immigrants elude ICE. She's like hosting webinars. I tried to find that exact thing. I couldn't find that. I might give it another try as we're watching this stuff, but here's another clip.
I have so many questions. First of all, if they're shouting and helping these people get away with bullhorns, how is that legal? To get help from the people in the streets? I know they can protest, but that's not what they're doing.
You're exactly right. When they come to they cross the line of impediment, and that's why I'm working very close, starting this morning with Department of Justice, and where do they cross that line of impediment? So they may find themselves in a pair of handcuffs very soon. So working with DOJ on that, get some legal guidance on that. I'm not an attorney. I know what SecOps is about. I know what crossing that line is, but getting DOJ back up on that. So it's something we're looking at right now, Harris. We're not going to tolerate it anymore. This is not a game. When we show up these sites, this is a dangerous job for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol and all the DOJ agencies. To have that type of interference puts our officers at great risk. Not only the officers, it puts the aliens at great risk because anything can happen when we take our eyes off the goal here. So we're addressing that immediately today. I'm addressing OPSEC today, operational security, how these leaks are happening. We've already identified how this operation got leaked. I'll deal with that today. So,
Tom's not playing around. Tom's like, I want to arrest every immigrant, illegal immigrant in the nation. So what do you think he wants to do to the people who are trying to impede him? This is where he talks about AOC and what she's been up to.
You got AOC out there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman, putting out a webinar, doing a webinar to help illegals avoid, I guess, apprehension, giving tips about how to continue to remain in the country and ultimately game the system.
And I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impediment? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. Is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, but I need the AOG to opine on that. But because there's impediment is impediment, in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, but we need some further guidance on that. But again, if we have to take every federal dollar out of the city, we'll do it. I mean, we're done. This is about public safety. This is about community safety. Knowingly releasing a public safety back in the public is just stupid. You're putting the public at great risk. You're putting our officers at great risk. You're even putting the illegal alien at great risk because anything can happen on arrest on the street. So we just want to make common sense. In sanctuary cities, they want to step aside. We're coming. We're going to do it for you. If you don't want to make your community safer, President Trump's going to.
I love this guy. This guy's great. I don't know what he's like built for this position in this position alone. I don't know what else he could do, but I would love to find out.
But
like, what other position can you put Tom in? Let's see if we can find anything about AOC helping illegals. Because I couldn't find anything when I was looking online. There's a couple of people here saying AOC would face charges, blah, blah, blah. I actually want to see what she did. Is this the video? Nah. Wait. Oh, this is her Instagram. So what's this say? Okay. So if you see ICE in public. No. Go back here. Pause. If you see ICE in public, verify, document, share. Oh, so she's like really giving people instructions on how to handle this. Know Your Rights, nyc.org/KYR. Know Your Rights. Let's see here. What else does it say? And then it just, and then it's in Spanish. Whoa. What's wrong with her, huh? And then also, there's an organization that's doing this, right? This is somebody's ad. It says at the I think that's NYIC. Huh. Interesting. So she's reposting this stuff. I want to see if it went any further than that. I don't think it did, though. Arrest AOC. Like, yeah, people are really mad that she's doing this kind of thing. That's not really her crying. It actually might be. Who knows? May face charges. I wonder if she could face charges. People on X are hilarious. Oh my gosh. You know, they are starting up Rikers Island again. Eric Adams announced that he's going to be housing illegals there. So this could be that could be her next stop. You know, I don't know if she'll face any charges. You know, I've been wondering for a while, you know, what's going to happen when people are found out to be, you know, doing things, unscrupulous things with the government. What's going to happen at that point? Are they going to send people to jail? You know, Elon Musk is talking about auditing politicians for their net worth and whatnot. Are they just going to start throwing people in jail? Politicians in jail? I wonder. Like, I don't know. If they find out you took $30 million somehow, allegedly, I'm just saying, you know, hypothetical, they can't just be like, oh, you're fired. They have to seize everything. They have to put you in jail at that point. They can't just have you out and about, even if you're a politician. Wild. I hope they have walkers in jail, because most of these people who are going to be found guilty of these crimes are very old.
Hey everyone, what's up? We're about to go live with Tim Walz playing Madden in about an hour. We'll be talking about a lot of other things, but hop on our Twitch stream to check it out. Hey everyone, what's up? We're about to
be playing Madden with Tim Walz? Ew, what is that? What? What is she doing? Aren't you 40? You're playing Madden with Tim Walz? Why? You know what? And I'm going to say it again because you guys don't get it. You can be a you could be a congresswoman, congressman. You kidding me? She's playing Madden with Tim Walz. She basically lies for a living, and she plays Madden with Tim Walz and shows illegal immigrants how to stay in the country and evade ICE. Believe me, you could do it. I don't understand how I haven't had a bunch of people reach out to me on how to do this, or at least just Google it yourself. You know, I've experienced the same thing because I do stand-up comedy, and AOC reminds me of exactly what motivates me to get on stage. Because when you go to an open mic, you're like, oh man, I'm real nervous because you think Jerry Seinfeld's going to be there. He's going to be like, hey, what about this? That's not going to happen. Instead, the worst comedians in the world get on stage. Some of them sweat and stutter. Some of them just forget. Some of them just walk off stage. And then by the end, by the time it's your time to go, you're like, well, I can't do any worse than that. And that's what you guys should be feeling when you see AOC in action. You should look at this and be like, I can't do any worse than that. I can play Madden with someone on Twitch. Just ridiculous. Meanwhile, this whole thing, you got Ron DeSantis actually signing executive orders requiring his law enforcement in Florida to actually help ICE with the deportations. Look at this guy. Just shining example, really shining example of just a great governor. He's amazing.
Here we go. Today is the 13th of February. I know that because I'm monitoring Valentine's Day. I'm ready for that. So. All right. Okay. You, sir. Thank you. You, sir. Peanut Gallery, anybody? Huh? Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, this guy's inspired by Trump. Right. Look at this guy.
Here you go. Great work. Big deal right there. All right.
Just signed those executive orders just yesterday. He signed those. That's the way, you know? Well, I don't know what's going on with all these other mayors and governors just trying to resist all of this. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Let me see if I can find this video. Mayor, I'll just say mayor hiding illegals in house. That's right. I'm not making that up. Who's this person that's trying to hide them? Yeah, this guy. Who is this guy? New Jersey Democrat. It's the governor. Wow. Check this out. Check out what this guy says. This is just unhinged. Listen to this.
Democratic Governor Phil Murphy declared on Saturday that he and the First Lady are allowing someone pursuing legal status to stay at their home. The governor a little vague on this, but the bold admission came at an event during a broader discussion about the policies of the new Trump administration. Here is the governor. Listen.
Tammy and I were talking about, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Democratic Governor Phil Murphy declared on Saturday.
And what was that last part? What is he saying? Is he gonna have a showdown with ICE? Law enforcement if they come for her? Is that what he's saying at the end? Good luck to them trying to... What are you talking about? And you're inspiring so many people in the crowd to do that exact same thing. It's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing that he could. What's this dude's name? Phil Murphy. Of course, that's his name. Phil Murphy. Just a high-level NPC, you know? High-level NPC. Figured out a few other functions. Now he's hiding someone in his attic. Crazy. Why would you do that? Why are there so many fighting this? Who else was fighting this? Mayor resisting ICE. There's so many of them. This guy too? No way this guy too. Come on. Are you serious?
We literally have acts of terror that are being promulgated from the federal government.
He called ICE agents terrorists. An illegal immigrant does something horrible to an American citizen. They're committing acts of terror.
Those guys are so funny. Illegal immigrant, they are committing acts of terror. Yeah. You can't be calling ICE terrorists. But Brandon Johnson, that's expected from Brandon Johnson. Who's this? Boston, Mayor Wu. Mayor Wu just shrugging it off. Let's see what Mayor Wu has to say.
The most intense executive orders have already been stopped in the courts. Now's a time when Boston is going to lean on our resources here locally, the authority that we have within the city level and within city government to do everything we can to continue pushing forward on our climate resilience goals, the most intense executive.
All right, that was Mayor Wu. Block executive orders a threat. And that's actually not true. They haven't been all stopped in court. Just so you know. He won't cooperate with ICE. Oh yeah, this was in January.
I want to speak directly to people who are undocumented. We love you. We care about you. In the city of Minneapolis, we will stand up for you, and we will do anything in our power to help. Because you're not an alien in our city, you're a neighbor. Now, in Minneapolis, we have what is called a separation ordinance. And that separation ordinance states clearly that our city officials, our police officers and beyond, will not be gathering information showing who is and who is not documented. We do not ask the question with regard to immigration status, and because we haven't asked the question, we don't have any data to show documentation status in our city. Our police officers will not be cooperating with federal law enforcement around federal immigration law. We enforce state and local laws here in Minneapolis, and we will do so to the best of our ability. But as for cooperation with ICE, the answer is no. And so, again.
So crazy. So weird. It's not like they're looking for, they're not looking for old ladies. They're looking for criminals. And he's just like, no. Could you imagine you live in one of those cities? You live in New York, you live in California, you live in Denver, you live in Minneapolis here, and you hear the governor, the mayors, and they're just like, we're not going to cooperate with ICE. And you've been feeling the impact of all these illegal aliens coming in, taking over community center buildings, parks, schools in Chicago, taking over all these spaces that you actually need. You're a working class person. You're fighting to just stay above water. And you hear them just going, no, we won't cooperate. They finally have an out. They're these sanctuary places. It's hitting the community so hard. There's finally an out. They just want the criminals. And you see your elected officials just going, no, we won't do that at all. It's just, you're going to let people just run amok. It's very odd. But going back to what it was originally about, the leaks and where they're coming from, it's very interesting. I feel like they're all connected myself. And I think everything that's happening with USAID has kind of proven that. It's just very interesting that the media seems to be helping call out these leaks, not call them out, but actually help people understand that, ICE is coming. So the media is helping the illegals in that sense. The protesters, quote unquote, are helping, and the politicians are all helping. It's just funny how all three of these, and we're finding out that they're all very connected. I've been talking about this for a while, but we're all starting to find out from all the stuff that's being uncovered in these organizations that are just frivolously spending money on all sorts of very odd things and also very subversive things. That the media, the protesters, and the politicians are all working towards the same goal. And then they think that the leak is coming from the FBI. It all just goes hand in hand when you really break it all down. So I was going to say funny that that's happening, but it's not funny because it's actually going to get somebody hurt eventually. Eventually, somebody's going to get hurt. Like Tom Homan said, someone's going to stay inside. They're going to be ready. You know, they're not going to take it as an indication to run when they get tipped off. They're going to take it as an indication to stay and you know, actually have it out with these guys. Who knows what'll happen? It's just one of those protesters might actually receive some violence. Who knows? You don't know what's going to happen. You have no clue. Local media, it's just a bunch of people, you know, when it comes to media, protesters, politicians, there are a bunch of people who are just in the way. They're a bunch of civilian types in terms of what they're willing to do and what kind of situation they can handle. They're civilians. They're soft. And if anything happens, those same ICE agents who are coming to grab this perpetrator, or the 200 of them, they're all going to be in the way. The ICE will have to defend them. ICE will have to make sure they're okay, even though they're explicitly working against them. Very, very interesting stuff. I can't wait to see what happens with all this. I hope that somebody is prosecuted for leaking all this stuff. And I hope we get to find out who it is. Tom Homan, although him and Christie are being very open about where they think they're coming from, they are talking about how certain things are under investigation. I just wonder if they're going to come out with it. But you know who's really going to be able to help with all this if the leaks are coming from where they say they're coming from. That guy right there. If he could verify, I can't wait. I think RFK was the biggest confirmation for Trump, but I think Kash Patel is going to be the missing piece to all this. Like right now, Kristi Noem is just, you know, she's saying what she thinks, but she can't verify it, right? Tom Homan's saying what he thinks, but he can't verify it. Once he gets into the picture, he can verify it. He can start firing people. He can start moving people around. He can force them to really help ICE the way they should be helping ICE. And he can figure out who's leaking information if it so happens to be from that bureau. Whew. I can't wait for Kash Patel to get confirmed. I can't wait. It's going to be wild. That's where I think, and this is the thing, Trump is kind of in this place where he's just like, not involved. You know, I'm not the one sending these guys around. They're doing what they think is right. They're following the law. They're going by the book. So I don't think Trump's going to be like, put this person in jail, put that person in jail. Kash Patel's going to be like, put X politician in jail. He's going to be like, this is the law. I have the proof, everything. Put him in jail. And also, I mean, this is completely off topic. I know, but still, I want to talk about it. Like the Epstein files. Kash Patel already said, he's like, he knows that the director has the list. He says he knew, like the former director who resigned, I believe, Christopher Wray, said he knows that that's the person who has control over it. That's the person that can release it, and he thinks it should be released, and he's going to be director. What happens then? What happens then? Huh? Oh man, they're gonna have to X that plan out of sending all the illegals to Guantanamo Bay. It's gonna just be filled with all sorts. It's gonna look like the Met Gala in Guantanamo Bay. It's gonna look like the Oscars in Guantanamo Bay. You ready for that? Pull out the red carpet. Pull out the red carpet for all these illustrious people. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait, man. You know, I think it's going to be amazing to see, and I think it's going to be sad a little bit too, because, you know, there's some people that you don't look up to, but you love them in the movie industry or, you know, sports, this, that. you know, who knows? You know, who knows who's going to be in there? Anyway, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. It helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I got to go to sleep because I'm releasing this at 9 a.m., I believe. But right now, it's 4 a.m. So I got to get to bed. I'm out.